The movie begins with a young woman running away from a man. While escaping, she falls onto a piece of sharp wood, which ruptures her belly. Looking at the extent of injury, the man leaves her to die. The woman gathers her strength and gets up. As the man is talking on his radio, she attacks him with a rock and repeatedly hits him. She takes his knife and stabs him in the chest. She then takes a grub axe and kills him. Karla and Tamsin arrive at Puerto Ventura for their vacation. A few miles away from their place, another woman named Lucy, a dancer, has come to participate in an event. During this time, a group of men led by Andras are running a racket and need 10 beautiful women whom they plan to abduct and send abroad. The men start searching for girls who are alone and can be easy targets for their nefarious plan. While Karla and Tamsin are enjoying their time at the beach, a guy approaches them and starts conversing. He invites them to a nearby club for drinks, but the women decline the offer. The guy insists, but they politely say no to him. It turns out that the guy is part of the racket looking for women and signals to his partner that the plan didn't work. He then follows them to their apartment and shares the details with his colleagues. While Karla and Tamsin are enjoying their time at their apartment, they hear a knock at the door. Karla goes to check, and when she opens the door, a guy places a piece of cloth over her mouth, causing her to pass out. Tamsin goes inside to check on Karla, and they do the same thing to her. They take both women to a secluded house in the middle of the desert. Karla is taken to the basement where there are other women locked up in a cell. One of the guards asks Karla to give her hands so that he can untie her. She hesitantly brings her hands forward, which the guard untie. She asks the men about her friend, but they don't tell her anything, and ask them to shut up and keep quiet. Just then, another group of men bring in Lucy and lock her up in the same cell along with the others. Lucy is angry and scared and shouts at the men for abducting her. The men who abducted Lucy tells Andras that they were stopped by the police in between for checks. However, they killed the officers and hide their bodies in the desert. One of the men tells Lucy that no one can hear them and that they can shout as much as they want. All the women in the cell are worried as they do not know what will happen to them. Andras receives a call from the buyer asking about women. He tells him that he has 9 women and 1 will come tomorrow. The buyer tells him to take good care of them and ensure nothing happens to them. Meanwhile, Tamsin is tied to a bed in a room and is being watched by Andras. The parents of the women are worried as they have been calling their daughters, but their phones are not reachable for several hours. Karla's mother, Olivia, who is a rich and established businesswoman, is able to locate the contact details of Lucy's mother, Anna. She asks her if she's been able to get in touch with her daughter, to which Anna says no. Olivia tells her that something is wrong, and she will have her picked up in the morning as she has pulled in some resources for help. Karla tells the girls to not give up. As being a nurse, she has seen worse situations in the hospital. She asks then about how they ended up here. Lucy says that a guy named Jude approached her and asked her out for dinner. To her surprise, he took her to a secluded cabin in the middle of the desert where they had dinner together. When she went to the bathroom, the guy spiked her drink, causing her to pass out. Most of the other women also mentioned the same guy and that they were drugged as well. One of the women tells Karla that before she arrived, there was another woman who tried to fight back but was beaten by the men. As her face was badly injured, they removed her from the cell and got rid of her. This made them realize that the men needed them in good condition for their buyers. Jude calls his sister and tells her that he has sent some money to take care of his nephew's medical expenses and will send more as soon as he has landed a new job which is paying well. However, Jude feels guilty about the kind of work he has been doing. The next morning, Karla sees a light coming through a small window and tries to grab a rock. While doing so, she gets her hand on a small piece of barbed wire and grabs it. Jude comes to meet the women and they all start shouting and yelling at him. He tells them not to spend their energy on him and save it for the voyage. He tells Karla that sleep is the best medicine and being a nurse she should know about it. He places a small packet next to the bars and says, "Get a good dose before morning." The guard takes Jude out as he is not supposed to be there. Karla finds that the packet contains a powder and understands it is the same drug that Jude used on them. Anna arrives at Olivia's house, where a team of experts is trying to locate their daughters. Till now, they do not have enough information on the women. One of the detectives mentions that since it is a party destination, tourists there go to nearby islands to get drunk and return in a day or 2. However, Anna says she cannot wait here as believes her daughter is in danger. The detective leading the team calms down Anna and tells her that they need some credible information before taking any action, otherwise it will be a wild goose chase. As Karla deciphers Jude's message, they realize that they have till the next morning before the women get shipped. Andras goes to Tamsin and offers her wine. After resisting initially, she takes a sip, but it is visible that she has something going on in her mind. As Andras is untying her legs, she gets her one hand free. She takes the wine bottle and smashes it on Andras' head and manages to escape from the house. One of his men goes after Tamsin. Karla sees Tamsin running away from the house. They create a plan to lure the guards for a sip of beer and put the powder in it. As per their plan, Lucy and another girl play nice with the guards for a sip of a beer and tell them they will do anything in return. The guards agree to give them the bottle for a sip and turn the camera away based on the women's request. Lucy takes the bottle and pretends that the sip hurts her throat. She turns around to put the drug in it while the guards are asking them to return the bottle. Lucy gave the beer back to the guard, pretending that she didn't like the beer. Andras calls his men asking them about the camera. They tell him and it must be a glitch in the camera. One of the guards passes out soon after drinking the beer. The women are discussing on how to get the other guard behind the bar. Karla then asks Lucy to hit her as the kidnappers do not want anything to happen to them. Lucy then hits Karla and they start fighting. To stop the fight between them, the guards open the lock to come inside and one of the women chokes him with the barbed wire. Seeking the opportunity, women escape from the cell and take with them any weapon they can lay their hands on. The other guards try to stop them, but they are outnumbered. Guards stopped some women, but some of the women are able to make their way out of the basement and start running away from the house in different directions. Andras orders his men to bring all the women back. One of the guards tries to stop Lucy, but she kills him with a wrench, and then runs away from the house. While escaping, one of the women fell on a big nail which turned fatal for her. As Andras' men are chasing the women, they get hold of one of them. The woman tries to fight them, and in the process, she bites and chops off the thumb of one of them. The guy then kills the woman with the hammer. Karla and Lucy witness the entire incident but were too afraid to save the woman. They then decide to split and run in different directions. While running away from the men, Karla comes across a cabin. She knocks on the door asking for help, but there is no one inside. She manages to go inside through a window. When she opens the door from inside, the security system sends an alert to Andras. He finds that Karla is inside the cabin and sends his men to go after Karla. Meanwhile, Lucy reaches a ruined place where she comes across an inebriated vagrant and asks for help. However, the man is not in his senses and hardly understands anything. Lucy checks the guy to see if he has any phone she can use. He gives her a bottle to drink. When she takes the sip, she spits it out as it is inedible. She then runs away from that place. While searching the place, Karla finds food, wine on the table, a dress, and a purse, which reminds her of what Lucy told her earlier regarding how she got kidnapped. Karla realizes that this is the same cabin Lucy was referring to and sees the camera in the room. She takes the food and a knife, and as she's about to leave, she sees Andras' men coming towards the cabin. While the men search the cabin, she manages to get out of the cabin and hides behind their car. As the men are not able to find her in the cabin, they get back in the car and leave the place, and Karla manages to escape their sight. On their way back to Andras, they see Lucy in the desert and goes after her. Karla sees them going after Lucy and follows them. To lose the guys, she goes inside a rock formation and hides inside a cave. The men split up to search for Lucy. While the men are searching the caves to find Lucy, she tries to pick some rocks to defend herself. One of the guys hears the sound of the rocks and is able to locate Lucy. As they fight, the guy overpowers Lucy and starts to choke her. Karla comes from behind and slices the man's neck with the knife. Lucy then kills the guy by stabbing him in the stomach and they run from the place. The other guy sees the dead body of his colleague and goes after the women. The detectives are able to trace the last location of Lucy's phone, which was about 12 hours ago. It turns out that when Andras' men were taking away the dead bodies of policemen, Jude switched on women's phone momentarily to allow location tracking of the phone. While reviewing the CCTV footage, Andras saw Jude leaving drugs near the bars, which Karla had picked up. As Karla and Lucy are figuring out what to do next, Lucy tells Karla that they should run away to save themselves. However, Karla refuses to go and tells her that she cannot leave the other women behind as they need help. She shares her incident with Lucy that led to her sister's death. She tells her that when they were kids, she ran away to look for her parents instead of helping her sister who was drowning. By the time they came back, her sister was dead. She doesn't want to repeat the same mistake now. Lucy tells Karla that one of them needs to go and seek help. After promising Karla that she will be back, Lucy goes ahead looking for help. As Karla is finding her way through the desert, the guy catches hold of her and starts to beat her. The guy is about to kill Karla, but Lucy throws a rock at him, which gives an opportunity to Karla to stab him in his feet. They team up against the man, and Karla stabs his eye with a piece of wood. He screams in pain and is not able to see anything as he is already blind from his other eye. Andras calls Jude to his house and shows him the clip. and asks him about it. As Jude remains silent, Andras beats him. He then takes Jude, who is stripped of his clothes, to the desert and asks him to run. As Jude is running, Andras shoots him. Believing him to be dead, Andras leaves. However, the bullet hits Jude's shoulder and is able to get up and walk away. Jude finds the car Tamsin had taken from one of the bad guys. Upon checking, he finds that Tamsin is already dead. As she had lost excessive blood, the detectives find out about the death of 2 policemen in the same area where they found the last signals from Lucy's phone. After obtaining permission from the local authorities, they send a chopper to look for the women. Due to low light conditions, the chopper cannot locate them and comes back. The detective informs the parents about it and tell them that search will resume in the morning. While Karla and Lucy are walking in the dark, they see a light coming towards them. Jude takes the car back to Andras's home. Before Jude says anything, Andras kills him. As he is checking the truck, Karla and Lucy attack him with rocks which badly injure him. When he wakes up, he finds himself tied to a chair with women surrounding him. They ask him to apologize, but he is disrespectful to them with no remorse for his actions. Lucy opens his trousers and again tells him to apologize, otherwise he will have consequences to pay. Karla asks Lucy to leave him as the law will punish him, but Lucy insists on an apology from Andras. She gives him a last chance to apologize, but he laughs and insults them again, which reminds Lucy of her scars from her previous abusive relationship. This led to her tipping point, and she cut off his private part. All the women then leave, and the chopper can locate them in the early hours of the morning, and the movie ends there.